Kelly. Hi, everyone. I started Traveling Spoon along with my co-founder, Steph Lawrence, that I met here at Haas. And we connected over a shared passion for food and travel, and have been working on Traveling Spoon ever since. In fact, I think I spend more time with Steph than even my husband, who coincidentally I also met at Haas. So what can I say? Haas has been good to me. So where did we get the idea? As soon as the wonderful mountains. So we started Traveling Spoon because right before joining business school, I was in Mexico and had a really hard time finding authentic Mexican cuisine. When I travel to a country, I want to learn about the culture through the food, and the restaurants that people recommended or that I found on review websites were touristy and crowded, and the food catered to a Western taste. And one day, I remember walking to yet another restaurant, and I happened to pass by this woman's home and looked through the window, and I saw her cooking. And I was like, that's what I want. I wished I could eat with her and hear her stories. Fast forward a few months, I met Steph. She had a very similar experience living in China. She wanted to learn how to make dumplings from a Chinese grandmother. And so I'm thinking, you want to learn how to cook in people's homes. I just want to eat. So let's work on this together and see where we can take it. So here we are. Traveling Spoon is an online marketplace that connects travelers with private and authentic food experiences in people's homes around the world. Is that better, Kelly? Our goal is to make travel meaningful. We do that by connecting local hosts with travelers to share private food experiences, from homemade meals to market tours and cooking classes in people's homes around the world. And I'm just going to wait 1 second to see if I can show you some photos, because it really does justice to the experiences we offer. If not, no worries. Almost. Well, if you could see the photos, imagine imagine the terraced rice paddy fields of Bali and learning to pound curries from scratch with a traditional Balinese family. We have a host, Deva, who takes you on a garden tour where he shows you how he grows passion fruit and teaches you everything about the medicinal properties, from everything to turmeric to wild ginger. And I remember this one moment. We personally met every single one of our hosts. And I was in his garden, and he pointed out a papaya tree. And there was this bright, perfectly ripe papaya on that tree. And I was like, Deva, why are we not eating that right now? What is it still doing on that tree? To which he responds, Aashi, in Bali, we believe that you take what you need for the day. This morning, we had 2 papayas. We took one, and we left the other for the monkeys to spread the seed. I couldn't believe this is how they lived, but it really is true. And it's an amazing thing to witness. Next, I want to take you to South India, where you can learn to make dosas from an Indian grandmother in her home and eat off of a banana leaf with your hands. We give travelers a chance to see how locals live, to eat what they eat, and to share stories with each other. And this, I believe, is the power of travel. To be able to go to a completely new country and to connect with the local culture through, this is Deva, and to make friends with somebody who you never met before. So I thought I'd share a couple of our best and worst moments building the company. On the best side, I grew up thinking that if you had an idea, you had to keep it close to your heart. But the benefits I got from sharing my vision for Traveling Spoon with professors and classmates in the form of encouragement, connections, and feedback far outweighed the risk that someone would take my idea and run with it. I remember our first MVP was with a bunch of MBA students going on a trek to India, and so they had a Traveling Spoon experience in a local home and came back and said it was the highlight of their trip. They also gave me the best feedback, features that we still use today, about including transportation and adding alcohol as an add-on. Count on Haas to always recommend alcohol to enhance any event. 90% of our hosts are women, and we give them an opportunity to make money doing what they love and empower them as micro-entrepreneurs. But to this day, it still surprises me when I hear why our hosts want to be hosts. We have this one host in Japan. Her name is Keiko, and she told me that She grew up in Tokyo with 2 siblings, and they never met a single foreigner her whole life. She now has 2 kids, and she wants them to meet kids from around the world and be exposed to new cultures. So being a company that's dependent on the scaling model to scale and be, the funding model to scale and be successful, there are many dark days when you don't know if you're going to survive another week or another month. And this happened to us a few years ago where we had a fundraising delay, and we had to tell our employees that they had the option to leave or take back pay in the hopes that we would raise. It was really difficult because we felt so responsible for our staff and their happiness and felt like we really let them down. They stuck with us, and we've since successfully raised 2 rounds of funding, but boy, it is not easy. The other incident I wanted to share was back in the early days when we didn't have an automated website like we do now. We were bootstrapping the company and everything was manual. I had this monster spreadsheet that I had to take care of. And we forgot to send a reminder to our host. So the traveler showed up one morning at the host's home. The host showed up in their pajamas, and they did the best they could, but it did not go very well. And we felt really badly. So of course, we fully refunded the traveler. But in addition to that, we sent a personal apology and sent our favorite cookbook. And that experience taught me the value of customer service, especially when things are going wrong, because those travelers are still one of our most loyal customers today. So we've learned a lot, and we continue to learn. But one of the things we're proudest of are our incredible customer testimonials from travelers who say over and over again that traveling Spoon was the highlight of their trip, that they spent 3 weeks traveling through Southeast Asia, and this was the best meal they ate or the best experience they had. But most importantly, we have impact not only on our travelers, but also on our hosts. And I wanted to share a story to illustrate this. This is Dewa, the Balinese host I was talking to you about earlier, who recently came up to me and personally told me that he was so grateful for traveling Spoon because it enabled him to send his kids to school. The future of travel lies in connecting people like Dewa with travelers, and in doing so, providing meaningful income while preserving cultural and culinary traditions. We're changing the future of travel. Thank you.